partners. If you haven't had the chance to meet them out in the expo, do so before the end of the day, because they're wonderful. And as Brad is finishing up, if you haven't heard of the AppConnect marketplace, Talk to Us has a fantastic marketplace similar to App Exchange, where you can find, try, and buy CX solutions, services, and hardware. We have just three of our many amazing partners that are in that marketplace. They offer, come on up, Brad.
I'm late again.
Let's go. These partners and their solutions offer the ultimate operational agility to help you expand and extend Talk to Us CX Cloud really, really easily. So you can go check out appconnect.talktous.com after this session, because you're all super locked in right now. I can see all your faces. And in that marketplace also, you can connect any of our 60-plus out-of-the-box integrations as well. So that is kind of your one-stop shop to easily add to Talk to Us CX Cloud. Again, so enough about me, AppConnect. Let's turn it to our fabulous partners that we have with us. So we have AJ Chan, Brad Schieber, and Vern Fernandez with TextLine, Zingtree, and Jabra. This is going to be a very fun panel because we're going to move fast. Got 20 minutes. Can each of you quickly just talk through what your solution does and how it works with Talk to Us? AJ, we'll start with you and we'll move down the line.
Sure, thanks for having me here. So my name's AJ Chan. I'm the COO at TextLine. We're a business text messaging app. We enable businesses to be able to seamlessly have two-way conversations, one-way announcements, and really kind of scale the power of SMS. We're HIPAA compliant, SOC compliant, security is kind of at the core of what we do, and especially during these times with a lot of businesses really wanting to lower costs. We help lower the cost in the call center there, as well as improve the response rate with customers who are on the go and wanting to text with businesses.
Perfect. Brad.
Sure. So I'm Brad Schieber. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Alliances at Zingtree. Zingtree is a conversational workflow platform. So what that means is we just try to make your agents awesome. We give them access to the right information in the right place, guide them through experiences, and we sort of combine the best aspects of a really, really powerful workflow engine, an agent scripting tool, a super flexible e-form that allows us to gather data and then push that out to wherever you'd like it to go. And then lastly, a really powerful reporting piece so that we can give a lot of really detailed data about what your agents are, how they're performing, how your processes are working.
And Vern.
Thank you, everybody. So my name is Vern Fernandez. I'm the Senior Manager of Contact Center Excellence at Jabra. And what we do is we make the headset. So it's hard to do the job without us, right? But in addition, what we feature is a set of digital analytics that now come from the headsets. So we'll be featuring some things where we can gamify the headset experience. We can give you the decibel levels of the room to do some actions and make some decisions by that. We can take a room that's 82 dB and make it sound like a library, in effect allowing the agent to work anywhere. We always get those questions about, can you handle the dogs and the doorbells and when the lawnmower starts outside? And what we tend to do is just take care of all that so that you can focus on the call center and the customer context and customer experiences that you want to set up. So what we do is we kind of work on that entire experience for you and understand the customer so that we can work in tandem with Talk to Us.
Yeah, perfect. So jumping into our first real question. Thank you guys for a quick overview. So Vern, I'm going to hand this to you. So you're right, hardware central to the contact center. How did your company design its solution to drive impact across the entire contact center? You kind of touched on that a little bit. Can you expand on that?
Sure. I have one question before I get into that. How many people here in the CX world actually pay attention to their headsets and how it adds or subtracts to CX? By show of hands. Okay, good. That's about half the room, right? So one of the things that we kind of realized is we had to make the headsets a bit smarter. So what we do is we add a digital chip in some of our newest headsets that use algorithms to basically take out the noise. It uses multiple microphones to understand what's voice and what's noise, take out the noise, and then leave you with good, crystal clear data no matter where that agent chooses to work. We all know that the agent really wants to be flexible and work wherever they want to in order for you to retain them in some cases. So we're giving them that capability of being able to do that. That same chipset offers you those DB analytics. I can tell you crosstalk and silence. I can tell you how many times the agent mutes. and how that affects average channel times. And we've even added some colors to the headsets so you can understand agent status, where they can gamify the headsets as well as needed. So there's some new things that we've done to be able to enable solutions out in the
Totally.
workplace.
I mean, and that data just expands outward to be able to know what's going on as the
Right.
agent's having that critical conversation, to be able to expand. Brad, AJ, anything to add in terms of driving impact across the contact center real fast?
Our focus is, again, trying to help human agents be really, really effective. I think the thing that we've done that's a little bit unique across that spectrum you talked about is handing a set of tools that are really can be owned by the process owners, the supervisors, and the knowledge owners, and let them run with this thing. Take these tools and provide guidance to agents in a really seamless way, right inside of that single pane of glass that we talked about, so those agents have a great experience. But let the business run with it and not require IT every time they turn around.
Right. I am going to keep us moving because I'm watching the time. And I want to make sure each of you has a moment to really answer this next question. And I think this is a big thing we see with folks who are in the contact center looking at partners who work in a marketplace who have solutions that extend TalkDesk. Can you share an example of a better together story of TalkDesk and someone using your solution, how they were able to accomplish a goal? And we can start with AJ and we'll move that way.
Sure. Yeah. I think one of our earliest kind of shared customers was Tough to Needle, the mattress company. And this was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And one of the big problems that they were trying to solve is, when people are buying a mattress without ever sleeping on it, there's a lot of questions and there's a lot of logistics involved in it. And so, a lot of times phone was just not effective because people are at work, people are, running in between, their daily life. And if someone has a question on product and they say this doesn't work, or this, there's a stain here, where is that stain? What doesn't work? Being able to send photos, being able to send links back and forth became a really effective form of communication. And
Yeah.
Tough to Needle is a big data company. And one of the nice things about text-based communication is that that's all transcribable already, and you can kind of input that into whatever BI tool you're using, and really kind of see the impact of it. And so the way we think about it and they think about it is being able to have that scalability of email, but that personalization of voice, and really a channel that we all use every day, whether we text our friends or family or loved ones.
Perfect. Brad?
Okay, so I can describe a client of ours. I'm not sure that I can use their name, so I'll just say a consumer products company that makes home appliances. And we worked with them. They had about 1,200 agents in 2 continents that they were struggling to figure out how to support a list of products with hundreds or maybe even over 1,000 SKUs, where there was a lot of product data that these agents needed to understand to help with troubleshooting and things like that. So we were able to kind of come in with our components to guide agents through very difficult and complex troubleshooting processes very, very rapidly. We implemented the initial solution in about a month and got them up and running very, very quickly. So it was just a perfect kind of connection between how the agents took calls and then provided service.
Right. I mean, you can't expect an agent to remember hundreds and thousands.
And it gave the managers a lot of flexibility in how they moved staff around, right? Because no longer did you have to have teams that could only support certain products.
When they were talking about earlier, the training investment.
Exactly.
You got to make sure you're maximizing that ROI. Vern, wrap us up on this question.
Thank you. So, just looking this morning at all that TalkDesk does and what AppConnect does, there's so many applications that do depend on voice accuracy. No matter where that agent's going to be. It's biometrics, it's going to be sentiment analysis, it's going to be speech to text, driving knowledge bases to drive agent assist, right? So all that will depend on an accurate data lake of voice, and that's the thing that we're very much focused on in partnering with TalkDesk on, and not just TalkDesk, but all the app partners as well, because I think that we can make everybody feel a little bit better about the voice that is feeding whatever you're trying to do.
Right. Well, I know in the TalkDesk team, many folks use Jabra.
Yes.
Great
Yes.
asset. So AJ, I'm going to hand this next question over to you. I know this is another sort of thing as folks maybe they haven't worked with a partner technology before, maybe they're a little intimidated by it because it's multiple teams, it's multiple groups, connecting technology. How does your team ensure success, across the technology usage, implementation, and support to make sure the customer's first?
Yeah, so I think we all know how sensitive people are about their phone numbers and contact and everything being real time. And so the fact that we work with TalkDesk a lot of times with text enabling existing talk desk numbers, there is no room for downtime. There is no room for error, or else business goes down a lot of the time. And so although there are a lot of technology pieces in the background, it really is still a services business, right? In the background of figuring out what are the workflows, how to handle things like SOC compliance or HIPAA compliance. And I think at Textline, we kind of see ourselves as Switzerland, so to speak, where we integrate with everyone under the sun and trying to make nice with folks. And so Dan back there, we work a lot with him and his customer success team and the implementation team, and really everyone to make sure we're all on the same page, to not just getting a customer onboarded, but making sure that they're seeing success and continuing to drive their business goals. So it's been a really great alliance and partnership ever since. And I think in a way, technology is the secondary piece to this a lot of the times.
And I think that's something that across all of of course, I'm biased, I work with these partners all the time, but they really do, as we prioritize the partners we worked with, it's about those shared values where that customer obsession is first. It's what are the customer's outcomes? How can we make sure we're prioritizing those outcomes? And how can we design not just the solution and the workflows, the implementation schedule? It's our job to make the customer successful, to have our teams do the heavy lifting behind the scenes. And that's something that with every AppConnect partner we work with, that's a commitment that we make when we partner together, is putting those customers first. And I think, again, just that's a great example that the technology is the secondary piece almost. It's the human connection that's first. Brad and Vern, anything to add on in terms of how your philosophy? I know we have time.
Okay.
We're doing great. How does your team sort of put that customer first, and how you're approaching working with?
So I mentioned that we're basically a no-code platform. So time to value is what we deliver, and so most of the time we just do it. We prove it, right? If they want to come and find out, is this going to work for us? Is this going to deliver the value? We're not afraid to roll up our sleeves and come in and prove it. And when we do, we get customers. So that's kind of how we approach it.
Perfect. Vern?
Thank you, guys. We do a lot of global deployments of headsets, and headsets are wearables. They're personal with people. People throw them at walls, and people run them over. And people are loyal to them because we see them as, when you have a carpenter, you want the best hammer, the plumber the best wrench to do your job. And same with the contact center agent, right? We see so many times when people build a big talk desk contact center, and then they put any old headset at the bottom. It's like putting a wagon wheel on a Ferrari, really. And you kind of have to remember that you can't stop by building a call center. You have to go to the end and build that. So what we do is we help people make the decisions. It's not just what do I plug it? How do I look with it? It's also, should I go wireless? Should I go corded? How do I do the Y cables, training sessions? Q calls, how do I push those through to the headsets? There's a lot of things to kind of think about that a lot of people don't, because they don't have time, because they're working with all the app partners and building talk desk, right? So we help and guide them through acquiring the devices and making them personal for every single person that wears them. We pay much attention to the end user.
Well, and we've talked about it a little bit today, but the agent experience really drives that customer experience.
Right.
And it's personal. If you're talking to customers every day, that's your vehicle to do that, and it's important to make sure it's right.
Right.
Moving on to our next question, I'm going to toss this one to Brad. And I know, and we've been talking a little bit, I'm not sure how many in the audience have an AppConnect partner that they are using with their talk desk solution, or if you're not a talk desk customer yet, if you're looking at AppConnect partners. But and Brad, we'll start with you, what's one myth or real piece of advice that you would bust for our audience about working with integrated technologies?
Yeah, sure. I think that it's not always this way, but it is possible that some customers might perceive some amount of risk, or there could be some trepidation about bringing in other components and putting them together. I think most of us live in a pretty plug-and-play world already, so it's probably not too scary. But the thing I'd mention, and it's very particular to TalkDesk, is that you guys have kind of given us as AppConnect partners a couple of really big advantages. And the first one is your AppConnect program. And AJ, you kind of mentioned this, and you mentioned it, but you've given us an ecosystem to work within that allows us to, make sure that we're working closely with your teams in product or throughout the organization. to stay in alignment with what we're doing technically and just as we go to market. So that's really, really important for us, and I think it adds value for your customers. And then secondly, you have awesome technology, right? So it's a great platform, and we talked this morning a lot about that, getting rid of a swivel chair and a single pane of glass, and that's where we live every day. We're super excited about what's happening with Talkdesk and with Workspace in particular. Providing that single pane. And I don't think I will upset any lawyers. I'm not going to make any claims. But we are really, really excited about what's coming in the summer release. I've seen some things that our teams are working on together, and it's going to be really cool.
I've seen it too. I verify.
Yeah, cool.
AJ, Vern, any other? And I think maybe we can reframe this because we have a few minutes. We were very good on time. Is where either a myth to bust, or where should people start? If they're interested in starting and evaluating, I have my contact center, I have some maybe specific needs, what's something that they should consider when taking that first step into extending capabilities?
Sure.
I know that one was not on the prep document. But
I think we could figure this out. I think at the end of the day, Talkdesk, AppConnect partners, we're in the business of helping you all solve problems. And I think one of the biggest challenges that we see, and I'm sure you all face, is that everyone's coming at you with 100 million problems. I'm sure there's a lot of IT ops people here, and how do you figure out how to prioritize those things? How do you implement those things? And I think just don't want to speak for all the other partners, but I think at Textline and working with Talkdesk, one of the things that we've really been able to do is get folks up and running and testing pretty quickly. And I think from what we've heard with other AppConnect partners, that's the case as well. And I think that's really important just to be able to see how valuable the solution is on a very small scale, and to be able to kind of vet it out, because I think even at larger enterprise companies where there's a lot of systems in places and a lot of red tape to get through things, for texting at least we can get you up and running in 10 minutes and 20 minutes to test out a very small segment. And so I think a lot of times that can be very scary because it seems like a 12-month roadmap to get something going. And I don't think that's always the case.
Yep, great point.
And something I want to make sure, just the sort of uniqueness of AppConnect and with our partners is we do make it very simple with simple billing, making that process very seamless across our teams to make it easy for the customer. There is a try before you buy for many of our partners offering 30-day free trials, so you can test something for a few weeks, see if you like it, and then easily add that on. And then easy installation. Again, that's the three kind of core tenets of the AppConnect marketplace, is making that try, buy, and installation experience really, really easy. And then, so I just wanted to add that. Vern, any myths or advice as folks consume technology?
I think the first thing is that a headset's not just a headset anymore, right? And we're unraveling 50 years of what you thought a headset could do. They're very smart. You can push and pull data to and from them now. They can empower use cases that you haven't even considered yet. And those are some of the things that we take you through. For instance, Salesforce was just up here, and some of the metrics that you can pull from the headsets are actually used in a real-time coaching app that you can get from the Salesforce App Exchange that basically says to the agent, well, it's loud around you, but don't worry about it. Your headset's canceling it, right?
That's cool.
From an average handle time perspective, you can just stop 5 or 6 mutes just with that, with confidence in the noise cancellation alone, not even counting the repeat time that you would use to repeat something. So you can make them really smart and have them affect how your floor operates. You can influence culture. So I would just say, when you take a look at the headsets, lift the hood up, take a look and see where they play in the sandbox with everybody else.
Awesome. Well, and I think, again, it's just sort of open up the hood. And it's a great sort of transition for us to end our panel on, is open up the hood and take a look. The AppConnect marketplace and all of the fantastic folks that we get to work with to help extend Talkdesk CX Cloud do so many amazing things. And as you just begin to look, and Dan, as we check with the customer success team and a fantastic organization, you can get in touch with them if you want to learn more, if you're interested in understanding what's available in the marketplace. You can, of course, come find 3 of these fantastic organizations in the expo as we have our networking reception, and then we also have Ada here as well. So come talk to me, come talk to the team, and thank you guys so much for the time. And thank you to our panelists, and thank you for sponsoring.
Thanks, everybody.
And we're going to welcome Amy back up.